Hey, how you doing out there? Wherever you are in this crazy life, this crazy planet, eh? It's crazier than ever, this life today, eh? In this world that's just baffling. And of course, maybe I mean that in a good way. So, anyway, it's another gorgeous day here in Montreal, Quebec, Canada. Here from my little office workshop there. My humble little apartment. I just finished this painting. I guess you can imagine that's what I do as soon as I finish a painting. I record it right away. And the reason why I do that is because, well, for a few reasons. Number one, I try to get some future business commission from maybe from you, right? I know recently there's a gentleman in New Jersey inquired about this, and actually, as soon as I upload this video from the GoPro and some pictures I took, I'm gonna be contacting him and to see if he's still interested, and also to show that, look, I got my paints here on my desk and brushes here set up so you can see that I'm not full of shit. And maybe some of you are wondering why I never, why I actually never film myself painting is simply because I am visually impaired and I can't drive legally. And just look at the thickness of my lenses here. They used to be even worse than that. They used to be like Coke bottles. So when I'm painting, I'm literally like, take a brush here. Mind you, I'm a lefty, but anyway. So when I'm painting, okay, I'm like literally like this. And often I don't even have my glasses on. So I've actually filmed myself painting for YouTube, and it doesn't work very well because, again, you cannot really see what I'm doing. It's like I'm the opposite of Bob Ross, the famous painter Bob Ross, Anywho, yeah, it's a great pleasure to have done this painting and to finish it because, well, first of all, I wasn't sure what kind of old car I wanted to put in this kind of a street scene, and I thought about putting it this Dodge Polara I'd seen a few times from near here. It's a 70 Polara 500 coupe, which is like, really rare compared to, let's say, any Dodge Charger or Challenger or whatnot, And I'm like, no, me, I got such a thing for the 65 Buicks, LeSabres, that I had one just like that, four-door. Actually, it's right here. There it is. Right there, back in 2000. Anyway, at that time, my friend Jeff was driving it, not me, because, again, I'm visually impaired. So, anyway, there was no point in keeping it. They did some foolish things like that, owning classic cars, and there was no point in having them because I can't drive them legally. So, anyway, and I thought, well, I'll put it white, and then I thought, I'm going to make it kind of green, sort of like that typical, I always forget the frickin' name of that green color. A lot of cars were like those years, 63, 4, 5, 6, 7. God, I always forget the name of it. Jeez, I don't know why. It's like an aqua metallic. It's kind of like that, And another reason why I wanted to do this too is because for some time I wanted to do a street scene type of painting. And I thought, well, I've been living here in Hochelaga in the sector of Montreal for almost 11 years. And yeah, I've always loved walking the streets. It's a fun place to walk around and look at all this old architecture and these typical French-Canadian exterior staircases, and study all that. And I said, yeah, I want to do something like this, and actually another thing that inspired to push me to do this even more was when I saw some posts on Facebook of this famous or known Montreal artist named John Little. And this guy, basically almost all his paintings were exactly this type of view. It was all these old neighborhoods like Outremont or whatever, Rosemont, I don't know, at Point St. Charles or something. And again, this type of straightforward view when you're walking down a sidewalk. So he took pictures and he did like winter scenes and stuff. And he didn't, but unlike me, he focused really on the buildings and all the details. He didn't really focus on the cars. Me, of course, it's like, the focal point is the Buick here, but it's not the main focal point. So for me, that's a big deal to have done this kind of a painting, you see, because, again, I've sacrificed my life to these earth-killing, gas-guzzling machines. And when I say always earth-killing, I mean that as a joke, really, because here in Canada, compared to the States, China, Russia, we don't pollute nothing practically. So, but that being said, again, I can't drive them legally. I'm going to be 49 years old this year, so, it's nice to sort of step back a little bit. It's not going to say that my next painting isn't going to be a car. It will be. I got something in mind, actually, if I don't draw that guy's Mustang that he inquired about. Yeah, just to do that really back in the day thing. Whereas, which of course, it's nice to do this and be in my place where it is very old school, and I have, the oldies coming out of my '58 Grundig Fleetwood or coming out of the Bluetooth speaker from my phone and all that, and I'm in my world. I'm in my realm. But no, generally speaking, a lot of times when I'm out, it does suck to be old school, because where are all the old cars? There's no old buses left. There's no old trucks. It's all gone practically. And let alone how people have changed a lot of it, not in a good way. So that's what this painting is. It's a representation of a much more simpler and therefore beautiful time for, just a simple life, not corrupted by these frickin' phones. And yes, I'm aware that, was what made me known as retro old school and all that, but still, I have a resentment for these phones. Hell, I'm even tired of carrying this thing all the time with me, because it's actually larger and heavier than other phones, and it's larger for me to see the screen, the monitor, the screen. So yeah, anyway, I'm not I almost thought to myself, well, I'm so proud of this painting, it's so cool. It took me like about almost a couple of weeks to do it, a week and a half easily. And so I'm like, what do I sell this thing for? I'm not going to sell for 300. I think this is worth at least 400. You got to look at the coats of paint, the idea of it all. It's Montreal. And it's as precision as I can be, as precise as I can be. Look, even if you look at the way this is this sunset here, the way the light comes through, like right towards, the rays of it, and you know what I mean. And actually, it's funny, I knew there was something I forgot to mention about that, actually. It was, almost 2 weeks ago, there was a really local rainstorm. And it's interesting because I was coming home, right? And I got out of the metro and it was pouring. I got out of Frontenac. I take the 125 scrap. It's pouring. I get off. It stops raining. And I had noticed the sky was beautiful. And then I started walking, to the next block towards my place. And I see these young people. They're like taking pictures. They're like, yo, check so, And I turn around. I'm like, holy shit. And the sky was even more amazing than this. And when I posted that picture on Facebook and everybody's tripping out on it, it wasn't even modified. It was all like pink and red and all this. I said, man, I'm going to definitely do something like that. Absolutely. Originally I was going to do like, just sunny blue skies, low sun. And by the way, this is actually, this is like I took a picture from the top of my street here on Cuvillier Street, and where I live here in Hochelaga, and at about Hochelaga Boulevard, Cuvillier and Hochelaga, just to use basically as a guide, And what's really cool is that it worked out well, because a lot of this, frankly, I just did from memory. The thing I used the most of a picture for was really the Buick LeSabre here. I used 2 vintage ads that I have, but a lot of it, like I said, is just from memory and experience. And what was I going to say about that? I lost my train of thought already. Trying to get out of the glare of this LED light there. It's the only problem with them. They're very bright, but they're taken away from the look of this a bit, eh? But yeah, and thanks to my parents for giving me this old fan. It's really came in well today, because it's going to be like 31, 32 degrees Celsius today. And so yeah, I'd like to do something like that again for sure. It's definitely fun. Maybe do it more like where, I'd have like more like it would be more concentrated on the street. I think I would do like, car there, and then you would see more of the car over here. This is like supposed to be a Dodge. Look, I even put a Corvair back there. And there's maybe a little bit of a Beetle back there. I keep thinking about something else I wanted to say, and I forgot what it was. Oh well, whatever. It doesn't matter. So yeah, another one, another success, And if I'm dragging this on, I'm just trying to. Yeah, I guess I was talking about price. So yeah, I was like thinking, 300. I don't know, seems a little bit low. So yeah, more like 400, I think. And I even put a vintage bicycle here. And, like I told Grant, I said, I'm trying to just, cross all my T's and dot all my I's kind of thing, make sure everything's covered. Yeah. And actually, that's another thing I forgot to mention. I guess I painted this also because, that Buick specifically, because again, I love that car. And unfortunately, I found out a few years ago, that the guy I sold it to, he couldn't find a freaking buyer in Canada who would pay this price because we're so taxed to death here in this goddamn country sometimes, or more than ever, I should say. And so the car, like so many cars, went to Sweden. And the guy had restored it completely over 20 years ago, repainted that green, just like the green interior, and there you go, man. So it is what it is. So it's fun to be old school, but it's not as much as it used to be. So that's it, guys. Hope you like watching that, and stay tuned always for more stuff coming, more paintings, and of course, you want something done, you can contact me at eltonmcfall@hotmail.com, eltonmcfall@hotmail.com. Thanks for watching, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.